How's it going? Welcome to Tabletop Arcanum. We're your hosts,
Justin.
and Ricky. And today is being brought to you by...
This
Hello.
this beauty. Oh my
Yeah.
god. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You told me I couldn't
I told you
open
to
this.
wait because I have seen the minis in there and they
Yeah.
are gorgeous. And I'm very excited.
The first major expansion for Lord of the Rings Journeys to Middle Earth, which we did cover on a podcast episode. So if you want to know about the game, expansion content not included, listen to that episode because that's where that is. But we're going to do an unboxing and see what's actually in this thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've struggled enough, right?
I believe in you, Justin.
Oh, I believe in the heart of the cards.
Don't believe in you. Believe in me who believes in you.
Do you believe in a thing called love? Can we say that?
Stop in the name of the love?
Oh, maybe. All right. Standard box. Woo, shocking. Nothing surprising here. All right. So we've got a couple big things in here. This is the first big box expansion, so we're getting a lot of stuff in here already. Rulebook, handy dandy. Quick reference. Web and Rubble, which are like new aspects that are being tossed in, some new expansion content. And then, of course, the contents, which has a ton of stuff in it. This box is just going to be loaded, right? Why don't you look at that punch board?
Beautiful. New scenery.
20 new journey tiles. Crack that open. Let's see what we got. Oh, good job.
You know, I've had some practice.
You're an old pro. I'll just throw this on the floor because it's, my problem. That's a future Justin problem. So we got some more outdoors, some more caves, some of these markers. Ooh. Oh, you're already punching. Eager. Loot tokens, logs, and what looks to be cliffs or rubble.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Ooh.
As I'm spoiling stuff for you already.
That's true. Well, it's spoiler, but it's not spoiler because you have no idea how this is really leveraged. So, except for when we get to the enemies, some of this stuff is caves and looks like there might be webs. Ooh, check out that treasure room.
That's beautiful.
So nice. We'll go up higher. Nice, like, treasure room. Big outdoor space, too. Up, and then knock stuff down. And I get back up again. So 20 new adventure tiles. That's quite a bit of an expansion. And if this is incorporated much like Mansions of Madness, that'll be stuff that you're going to see in the old campaigns as well as the new campaigns too, which is always cool. What do you got there? Heroes! We got 5 new heroes in this box. Let's take a closer look. First up, Arwen. 2 might, 4 wisdom, 3 agility, 3 spirit, 2 wit. Can hold up to 5. I'm trying to blank. Influence. What was that called again? Inspiration. That's what they called it. Inspiration. So the inspiration tokens can hold a threshold of 6 fear, 4 damage. And then once during your turn, you or a nearby hero may flip 1 damage or fear face down, or discard 1 face down fear or damage. That's actually really nice. Always good to have a healer. Background, and then suggested start as a herbalist role. All right, who's next? Ooh, one of the dwarves. We got Balin.
He is straight Balin.
He is a Balin dwarf. So 3 might, 3 wisdom, 2 agility, 4 spirit, 2 wit. 4 inspiration, 4 fear, 6 damage, and then special ability once per round when you would suffer a wound after resolving all wound from a single source, you may prepare 1 skill from your discard pile. Ooh, like that too.
Not bad at all.
He is suggested a Delver role. And of course, we got lots of lore. If you're not Lord of the Rings aficionado and don't remember who Balin is, that's a great thing. You got a joke for this one, right?
For this one?
For this one?
This one?
Dis, the Dwarf. This guy is 4 might, 2 wisdom, 2 agility, 3 spirit, 3 wit. So, only 3 inspiration. 5 fear, 5 damage, though. That's actually pretty good max. And after you test, you may spend 1 fate, inspiration, icon to place 1 card from the test on top of your deck. I'm less thrilled about this one, but Smith roll, suggested start, and a little bit of a background about Dis. Dwarf. Oh, I think he should be last. Yeah. Eleanor. This is the token human of the set. Oh, I think the other one's... Is he human? No, he's not human. 3 might, 2 wisdom, 3 agility, 3 spirit, 3 wit. Kind of not great at anything, but doesn't, other than wisdom, pretty okay at everything. 4 inspiration, 5 fear, 5 damage. Once per phase, a hero in your space may spend 1 inspiration to convert 2 leaves into 2 successes. That's actually pretty nice. A hero in your space, so she can trigger for herself, in that sense. It doesn't say other hero. That would be the keyword you're missing out. And the big bad daddy of them all, Gandalf. He's Istari, and 2 might, 4 wisdom. That's not surprising. 2 agility. He's not the most agile guy out there. 4 spirit and 2 wit. 5 threshold for fate. Fear of 6, damage of 6, but once per round after you discard a prepared skill with a leaf, you may gain 1 inspiration and scout 1. Ooh, scouting's always fun. Oh, I don't think I didn't. Eleanor has the Traveler role as a suggested trait. But going back to Gandalf, Meddler. Yeah, that makes sense. Gandalf the Meddler. All right, you got those hero figs?
I'm working on getting them
All right, let's
all
take.
set up. Here's...
Now there are, looks like 3 new titles that you could potentially earn. These are usually done through encounters or other adventure aspects, but Dawnbringer, Storyteller, and Treasure Seeker all have things that you can potentially get. And now, Lord of the Rings LCG's been around for a while, so no shocking that some of it's recycled art, but honestly, like, the Lord of the Rings art has always been beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So, while we go into some of the new roles, because the game has this really neat mechanic where you pick a hero, so like you pick Gandalf and he's going to come with a couple cards in your player deck, and then you pick a role, and you can pick any role. They have suggested ones as we went through them, but you can be any role that you want, and you can actually change your roles throughout a campaign. So there's some really neat stuff to do with that. And Where was I going with that thought? Like, I feel like I was going somewhere, and now I have no idea where I was going. So what I will do...
Because you're looking at these figures, and they're making you speechless.
Yeah. So let's take a look. We'll go through the heroes again. This time we'll show off their specific cards. And that way you can kind of see what each one's going through. I'm not going to talk through the cards, though, I don't think. And then we'll show the appropriate figure for that too, right? Yeah. So Arwen was up first, so let's take a look at what you would get when you play Arwen. Some of these are repeats. Looks like we're going to have to do a little bit, some at a time. Nobility, Elven Light, and Even Star. She actually gets 2 copies of Even Star, and then a copy of Willful. So that's your starting Arwen, right? We've seen most of those before, but it's always an interesting seeing the combination. Now Arwen, let's see, who would Arwen be? I think that's her. That's Dis. That's Balin. Gandalf's easy to identify. Yeah, that's Arwen. So, take a look at Arwen here, who has a nice cloak draped off her elven ears sticking out, holding a vial of something. So that's Arwen. Next up, we had Balin. Let's take a closer look at some Balin cards, because every day he's Balin. Is that good? I don't know. I'm doing terrible jokes over here. You're not even paying attention. Come on.
I'm paying attention.
You're not paying attention to me. I'm throwing stuff everywhere. Loyal Friend, Raven Companion, Kinship, another copy of Loyal Friend, and Misty Mountain Cold. So Balin's got some cool stuff going on for Balin. And Mr. Balin looks a little like that. Got that nice double-headed dwarven axe, and then he's got his bird.
I think that's a beautiful sculpt on that.
He's a cool looking dwarf.
Yeah.
Speaking of dwarves, now let's look at this dwarf.
This dwarf, that dwarf.
So, Fury, Kinship, and Strength of Thrain. Both of those on there. Let's see. Fireheart. We got some Firehearts in there too. Can I get that? Slide that over a little bit better. So that's what you get out of this. And let's take a look at this. I'm not gonna. This is a meaty dwarf. Like, I think this is like the same amount of plastic that Arwen is, just in a compact form. That should be right. Like, dwarves should be like this. At least the Lord of the Rings dwarves, like this super stocky, like, door stops.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he? I don't remember. Like, this is hitting one of those, like, she. Sister to Thorin Oakenshield. So, let's see what else we got going on in here. So 4th hero on our first display was Eleanor, so let's take a look at some of her. Nobility, Fateless, 2 copies of the Blood of Gondor, and the Gift of Men. So some really cool cards. I don't know. I know who I'm most excited to play first, but that's because it's Gandalf. I'm not going to be shy about that.
Yeah.
But I can't say none of the other heroes don't excite me either. Got a nice like action pose on Eleanor here. Got a drawn sword. Looks like it's the scabbard on her in her other hand. Classic cloak. Everybody's cloaked, but that's to be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like your towel in Hitchhiker's Guide. Gotta have your cloak in Lord of the Rings. All right, so finally some Gandalf cards. Uncanny, Grey Pilgrim, Flame Imperishable, Greater Power. I'll take a look at that. That is just a card of keywords. Strike 2, Sprint 2, Guard 2, Rest 2, Hide 2. And then Dazzling Flash. So that's what you get when you play Mr. Gandalf the Grey. Now, I can't say I'm not disappointed by this. Like, this is pure Gandalf's.
Violet is right. Violet Olivia is completely correct. I'm trying to grow my beard to that. That is all I aspire to be.
Yeah, what was it? There was I've seen it on the internet, the beard chart of like how long is your beard.
Yeah.
And, like Wizardly is like that super long one.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of good ones in the way too. All right, so that's the heroes. We're good with that. Let's take a look at some of these. What do you think? What do you think next? Monsters?
Let's look at some monsters.
Monsters, all right.
Let's definitely look. I mean,
Now, there are 8 new enemy types in here, so we'll take a look at kind of like a highlight reel of those guys. So, I know the one thing is I won't be able to identify, like, I had this problem with the first,
yeah.
the core game too, like identifying like what monster was what type. These guys will be some sort of undead skeleton warrior. Now, what it's actually called in the game when they actually spawn would be another thing. Got this nice little wisp movement out of him. And you get 3 of those guys, so my only guess is they're going to be pretty mean when they pop up. What do we got here? What's this next thing? I don't even know what this is, but it is like this burrowing worm. Let's see, we'll do a top-down view of this guy over here. And we'll bring a friend in for some profile. But he's a chunky, and there's 3 of these guys too.
Yeah, they do not look nice.
No, they probably burrow and eat dwarves or something. What do we got?
I got 6 of these bad boys.
6 of these? These are goblins.
Oh. Yep, 6 of them.
Goblins
Math.
of some kind. Gotta throw top down. Spear wielding goblins, the best I can tell, because they're definitely skinnier, not really orc-esque. They might be orcs. Malnourished orcs, maybe. And can't have any pudding if they don't eat their meat, orcs. Oh, maybe they're the orcs when meat was off the menu. That's the key.
Ah, yes.
I'm still leaning that they're goblins. But this guy, that's more of an orc. He's got this long whip going on with it. Yeah, he's pretty neat. How many of them do we get?
We got 3 of those.
3 of those guys?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3 whip. So that's the first 4 monster groups. Trigger, I guess, small trigger warning announcement here for our arachnophobes, because Shadowed Paths is definitely throwing in some new spiders. But take a look at this, like, lean up pose. I'm actually really digging
Yeah.
the fact that they used the base body here, the thorax, to anchor the model.
Mm-hmm.
Used 4 of its legs to kind of pinpoint the rest, and then you have like this upward striking. So if you're looking at it from straight on, it's pretty imposing. Straight down, it's got this nice little like posed strike look thing. But you get 6 of those. 6 of those spiders. So I have a feeling I'll be encountering those a little bit. But here's the big guy. Only one of them. And it is a armored looking spider. It's got like this crustacean shell, spikes growing on his forelimbs there. A little bit on the other limbs. But got that stinger too. So possibly like a spawn of Shelob or something like that. I don't know if this would be Shelob herself. But definitely like a thing connected to it. Now this is the first one that actually has some sort of like base model on it too. Let's see if we can get a better look at those. They're actually, well, the camera's not doing a great job at it, but it looks like egg sac pods. And a couple rocks or pods that the spider's sitting on. So, pretty neat. All right.
Got 2 of these bad boys.
2 of these bad boys.
Big old beefy boys.
Beefy, ogre-looking things. Covered in, might be rock scales or something of that. Probably I'm guessing they'll probably call him like a troll. It's got that haunch and that big muscly troll look to him, right? Yeah, but 2 of them, they're probably not going to be fun to fight, unless you have range. If you're like doing Legolas range stuff.
And then this
beast,
beautiful.
he's big.
Big boy.
This is the big fig in here. Flaming sword, flaming whip. Not quite Balrog, but definitely in the family. So you can get your... it's got a lot of detail on him. A lot of nooks and crannies for... like you throw some quick washes and highlights on him, and he's going to pop like a beast. All right, so that was Mr. Balrog-ish looking guy. I don't know what else to call him, right? So we also have, let's take a look at some of the rolls. I'm only gonna pull the basics of each. So when you start the character, you only get the first 3 of their roll. You have to earn XP and grow to get more cards and swap them out. So let's take a look first up at the Herbalist. Now this was Arwen's suggested starting. So Curiosity and 2 copies of Gathered Wisdom, and then more healing cards and more ways to do all of this better is essentially what you can grow into here, it looks like. Next up, Traveler. Was that Balin? I don't know. Take a look.
I do believe so.
So,
Delver.
So who's Traveler? Over Ridge and Rill. It's a nice, good aid card there. And then 2 copies of Many Paths to Tread, which is a song.
Eleanor was the She's just
Elnor?
a traveler.
Okay, okay. Looks to be like a good scout, sprint scout, and sprint and scout. Like those are your keywords that pop up on the traveler, which makes sense. Scouting allows you to kind of prep for the turn, which is always very, very good in this game. You know, mitigate your randomness a little bit, and then scouting, or no, that's scouting. I just drew a blank on the other keyword. Sprinting, get you extra movement. So this would be Balin. So this is the Delver. You get 2 copies of Shadowed Sight, which allows you to do some sprinting, and Intrepid, which gives you some scouting and inspiration. So after you gain inspiration, you can discard this skill to get 1 more inspiration and scout 1. That's nice. Delvers also upgrades. It looks like some scouting, a lot of scouting. A little bit of sprint, a little bit of rest, some strike. So it looks like you kind of stack your deck to try to get the right stuff going for you. That's Meddler. You can do Meddler. We won't do Meddler. We'll do Meddler last.
Yeah.
Yeah, words.
This is Dis Smith.
This is the Smith, so Dis Smith. She reforging thrice forged steel. She's an aggressive looking roll, or rather, the Smith looks like it's an aggressive looking roll. Taking a look at some of the other cards really quickly. Sprint, strike, a little bit of guard, more strike. Yeah, definitely a more aggressive class. And finally, Gandalf's recommended Meddler. So you get a copy of Nosy, and 2 guidances, and in here, looks like he's got a little bit of a rest auctions. One that gives you like a scout 4, quick temper, which is a strike 3. Yeah, there's a lot of manipulation in the cards for the Meddler, which makes sense, right? That actually makes a lot of sense. So and that's just the class cards there. Items, get like 43 new items. So we'll take a look at some of them. Looks like another staff with couple upgrade options on it, as you can improve over time. Another sword. This one has a couple paths. So dueling sword, elf forge, and iron render. So like you're only going to get the first basic version of it to start with, but when you unlock some of that other equipment, it's nice. It's nice going through the campaign and kind of improving your stuff along the way. Keeps that RPG element alive for you. So Hatchet, which then becomes Wanderer's Hatchet, Throat Seeker, Drake Tooth. Come on. Those are great names, right? Yeah, those are just fantastic names. All right, now less exciting stuff, Horn. But you still got to think, like, we're talking Lord of the Rings here, so like
Just as exciting.
Gondorian Horn, Star Song, Ringing Glory. So a couple different end cap options, but like excuse me. Like I said, I always appreciate how their equipment changed in this game. Some shield options here. So Reinforced Shield, Ironhide, and Flame Guard. And now the other thing that is coming up in here too is it looks to be, while they added some new options, they also kind of went back and said, like, here's another copy of Great Hunting Bow, or Hunting Great Bow, which is actually a card from the core game. More copies of Ringmail. So, like, it's really neat because the app knows what you have and what you don't own based on your collection in the app, and it knows whether or not you have enough knives to pass out or swords to pass out. So it won't let you equip what you don't physically own, and multiple copies is not the answer like most of the card games. So here are the new rules and new options that are going to be coming up and stuck in here for us. So we got webs, obviously we got spider models, so we're going to be dealing with those. Logs, rubble, and elevation. So Cliff, it kind of was right in my initial assessment there. Now that's actually all the content, physical content, right? So lots of stuff here. Lots of cards, only mini cards, so sleeving wise, you only really need the mini card size. Now you could get the, if you actually want to sleeve the character sheets, that's the tarot size cards will fit those, but not super critical.
Yeah.
Munch board, all this, it's a lot of stuff to go in here. Its sticker price is pretty high. It's not far off.
$79.95, which is
20 bucks less than the core game.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to chew.
You've got 5 new heroes, 5 new roles, a whole new campaign unlocks with this too. So the Shadow Path campaign's in there too. 4 new terrain types. So there's a lot of stuff. And 80 digital encounters is what they actually say in the app too. So,
Jeez.
So on top of all that, there's the unseen content being the digital stuff. So hope you enjoyed taking a look at Shadowed Paths with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. If you want to know more about this game and our thoughts on how it plays, check out that, like I said earlier, check out that review online, anywhere we hear podcasts. We covered that a while ago, but that was when the game came out. And now that we have new content for it, I'm very excited because while it had a lot of content to start with because the campaign was very long, I've played it and it kind of sat on my shelf for a while after a while. So I'm glad to kind of see this coming through. And the other thing they announced at Gen Con was the fact that they're releasing a digital campaign with this too. So, or not with this specifically, but a digital downloadable campaign where like, hey, they did this with Mansions too.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, this has been Justin. That's Ricky. And thanks for watching.